So good morning to you all.
Good morning.
On behalf of His Eminence Cardinal Ayuso, on our behalf, we would like to extend a very warm welcome to you to the Pontifical Law for the Dicastery for Interreligious Dialogue.
បងប្អូនយល់អត់យល់ភាសាអង់គ្លេសអត់យល់ច្បាស់ចាក់មកថតបញ្ហាវិធីសាស្ត្រ
Okay. So thank you very much for your visit. I kindly ask. I'm Father Indunil Kodituaku, coming from Sri Lanka, Buddhist country, and I'm the secretary here of this dicastery. And Father will present himself, and then you can present the group. Yeah.
Good morning, Venerable. I'm Father Paulin of Bataiwa Buya from Congo, Kinshasa, and now I'm the secretary here. 3 years now. I spent some time in the Asian continent, so 5 years in the Philippines, and 20 years between China and Taiwan.
Half Asian, half African.
Or as a diplomat or as a missionary?
As a missionary.
Oh. So good to so look at people. I will speak in English, so it's easier to understand. But I'm very happy to be here. For us, it's a great honor to be here at the beginning of this new year and to be here with friends from Cambodia. This is a trip of friendship to build up again the links that we had between Cambodia and the Holy Roman Catholic Church. It's been more than 30 years since the last time that a delegation from Cambodia has come to visit Rome, especially with a religious intent. The late king, His Majesty Norodom Sihanouk, came to visit many times, Pope John Paul II. But I believe that since then, no one has been blessed to have this encounter. So for us, it's a great opportunity to come today, not only as friends, but also as influencers. And we really believe in the good influence that social networks can have. Today, we're very blessed to have with us the Venerable Sansochia, who has traveled from very far. It was not easy to have a visa. We're so blessed that Sansochia is here. And Venerable Sansochia is what I call the young conscience of Cambodia. He's maybe one of the most influential monks in Cambodia, and he's very respected as a free man who speaks his mind and who speaks the truth. And so he's very appreciated, especially by all the young people of my generation, and very respected not only by the people but also by the government, and always trying to help Cambodia become a better country where people can live and be respected. With us, we also have the Oknha Mengly, who's not only a very important person, but also a personal friend, who's, I would say, the godfather of Cambodia. And he is born in Cambodia, who had to go through the war as a child and fled Cambodia as a refugee. He wrote a beautiful book about his experience of going through the border and how he had to survive as a refugee in the United States and came out from poverty and became a doctor and decided to come back to Cambodia to build his country back again. Just last month, for his many accomplishments, Nekapnya Mengly received the highest honor for a layman in Buddhism in Cambodia because he's been so proactive in helping not only in the field of education and health, but also in morality, teaching through his personal YouTube channel and Facebook channel, all how to lead a better life and how to be a better person. And so very happy to come also with our friends who are teachers, who are collaborators, and maybe I'll just introduce one, because it'd be a long time to introduce everybody, but maybe I'll introduce Puti-san who's here. We're very happy to have you with us. Puti-san is also a friend and one of the smartest people I know, and everybody here is smart, of course, but Puti-san is very smart, and we're very blessed because you know already that he's received a scholarship to be here through the Jesuits with Father Ingun, and who's also a collaborator and who helped organize this trip. So we're very happy that Buddhism is here, and all the others who are working with us and who are taking part in this trip are also proactive in participating in this trip, and very honored, I believe, to be here. So thank you so much for the hospitality, and some korop look happy mal. I some all people to chim chang some lap over here that you mean to be clear. No tini die to be clear. Oknha. This was just a few words in Khmer.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Father Will. I knew him when I was at San Luigi, the Francis. I was learning French, and then just before he was going to Cambodia, he stayed for some time there. Yes, you defined your trip as a trip of friendship. So as we know, friendship is the basis for any dialogue, any relationship. Pope Francis also in his first speech with the religious leaders, he underlined the importance of friendship. And when Bishop Enrique came here, he gave me a gift, a giraffe. And a small booklet. I think you're familiar with the story of giraffe that has been used for reconciliation. And in the booklet, also there is a narrative of giraffe and the fox. So he says the story is giraffe has a bigger heart, about weighs 10 kilos, and it is needed to pump blood to the brain, and also bigger heart, and also because of the neck, long neck, can see distant places. So and also other animals, small animals, follow the giraffe, it seems, because giraffe can see long, and if there are dangers, he can inform or warn the others. And then the fox, on the contrary, has a small heart and also looks down and attacks from behind. And I would like to take this story that is coming from Cambodia, has been used for reconciliation, and I know what it is because Sri Lanka also went through a civil war for many years, how important is peace and reconciliation, and also interreligious dialogue. So the main teaching of Buddha is ahimsa, non-violence. And then he presented it in Panchasila, 5 precepts, and also 8 noble paths, or 4 noble truths. So the main problem of Siddhartha, who became Buddha, is to liberate humanity from suffering. Dukkha. Dukkha is the problem. And then he presents a way to liberate the humanity. And then this has become, it is a mental state. This mental state, non-violence, is expressed through words and also through action. And non-violence even to animals and to the nature. And then Buddhism continues to exist as a world religion, and then Christianity. After almost 500 years, Jesus, his main teaching also is love, but also we can see in that love, Buddha has compassion, karuna, and Jesus love, also non-violence. To the extent of those who were killing him, he forgave them, pardoned them. God forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. That also shows his inner state at the end, because how can a person forgive or not be angry and violent when he was on the point of death. And Jesus' life also can be characterized many acts of non-violence. And his mission was also to liberate humanity, we call from sin, separation from God, from one another, from nature, from oneself. But there are also doctrinal differences we have to underline. Interreligious dialogue is a dialogue that we discuss, and then in this exchange we also see the converging elements and also differences. So we respect the differences, and on the basis of converging values, and we try to cooperate. So I'm not going into detail of differences. We know doctrinal differences, but what is important is now, today, even today, Pope Francis also says we live in a wounded world. Not only world is wounded, humanity is wounded. We know that our nature, our earth is wounded. So Buddha and Jesus Christ, if they were here today, what would they have done today? They will repeat the same message they have taught. Will present it, the same message may be relevant to today's context. So Buddha came to liberate the humanity from suffering. Jesus came to save humanity from sin, separation, or suffering. And then we are disciples of Buddha, we are disciples of Jesus Christ. A disciple is one who follows the teaching of the Master. So here, as disciples, we are here to reflect what we can do together today in this situation. And I have read and I have heard that during the pandemic, with the Catholic Church and Buddhists have collaborated to alleviate the human suffering. There have been other initiatives. So with this background, the pontifical, this Dicastery for Interreligious Dialogue, founded in 1964, and 1965 there had been a famous document called Nostra Aetate in our time, which helped us to open dialogue with the followers of the religions. We need to be honest, we need to speak the truth, because before the Vatican Council II, the Catholic Church had some issues with the followers of other religions with regard to their teachings and all. And then Vatican II was a revolutionary step. It affirmed the common humanity, and humanity is looking for the truth. All are on a journey of looking for truth, and then each one has an unquenched thirst within and look for and then there are responses from different religions. And then our office started an official dialogue with the Buddhists. There had been exchange visits like this. For example, last year we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the visit of Patriarch Abbot of Thailand, who became the Patriarch later. 50th anniversary we commemorated with a conference on Kalyana Mitra. Kalyana Mitra for Buddhism and Christianity, Kalyana Mitra. Non-Papa Mitra. Kalyana Mitra. So it is the 50 years of, and he's mentioned 30 years of friendship. And so here we are, and we are happy that at the local level the Catholic Church is we are together, we are promoting this dialogue. and it is a need of the hour, and humanity and the earth is suffering, and wounded humanity, as Pope Francis says. So Pope Francis promotes human fraternity as a solution, because we see a lot of division, conflicts in the world today. And the problem is we don't see each other as a brother and a sister. And so the solution is proposing, and there is nothing new. Our religious leaders or the founders have proposed this, and then he goes back to these teachings, and then he says we need to reawaken the spirituality. It is also true. Religion exists, but maybe people have distance, or they may limit their religiosity to rituals. Maybe may not have the compassion, karuna, maitri, agape, love, unconditional, that we should manifest. So with these thoughts, I open the dialogue and we can continue our discussion.
Thank you so much, Abhibal, and thank you for Father. And today I'm very blessed to have known Father Will for the past 2 years, and we are very fortunate to have been here through him. And I believe our purpose here is to come, visit, learn, and share what we all have, especially about love, karuna, that is a Buddhism for love too, and compassion. And as an educator and a medical doctor, we do a lot of that, especially to help enrich the youth new knowledge about love, about forgiveness, about being able to accept what is new around them and make it into positive thing. So today we are here, I on behalf of Cambodian people and the government of Cambodia would want to give respect to you and to Vatican, the Father, and the all members here. And we greatly appreciate for the sharing that we're going to go through for this few years. And we learned that in Cambodia, for the past 30 years, we've been up and down for many, many years, for centuries. But so far, for the past 30, 40 years, there's been peace and some stable. And we hope that the stability will be there more, so that the people can learn and share what the world outside has to offer. And Cambodia now are made up of youth between 15 to 34, and they are in the age of hunger for learning, for knowledge, and for exploration. So I think this is the period that we have to open up and share to them. And we hope that in July, when they have the next election every 5 years, they always worry that there is something going to happen. But we ask for Lord Jesus Christ, Father, and for also Buddhists, to help bless us all, especially Cambodia and the Cambodian people, for eternal love, eternal peace, and so that Cambodia can enjoy the love that most people on earth have and experience. We've been having that for the past 35 years, and we wish and hope to have more. And doing that is by teaching and by enriching them what good, one, or bad, and learn how to accept the new thing, new changing. And we come here to learn more from the Christianity side, and we hope to exchange the love and the compassion that Cambodians have. There's been war for many years, and people are confused, people are sick, people are depressed, but it's time now that they are growing, they are moving, and they improve to a better person as a whole, as a country. And I believe Buddhism play a major role along with others religions, especially Catholic. Father has been there for some years, and you have shown a lot of love, compassion through your work in Cambodia. And because of all of that, it opened a new horizons to how we view the world through religions. And I hope that the religion will help us heal many things that is happening around the world. On my part, I sponsor scholarship, and you probably understand that a lot of Buddhists from all over the world, they go to study in Sri Lanka, and they have a group of Cambodian monks, they study there for their whole life, and they gradually come back and they continue that journey of sharing love, peace, and teaching of Buddha. And the same thing, we have people who come to Western country to learn about Christianity and go back and help share the differences of kind of love that they show to the people. And I hope that I can do more on my part to provide scholarship to the monk to continue study, both inside and outside. And I believe by forgiving and forget and forgive, and just try to remember the good part of a person, we can heal, we can go move on. Cambodia have very, very tragic history, and this history only strengthens us. And I believe that through this trip, it will help enhance more understanding of what life is. And for us, to me, I feel that this is very important. It's a trip that's for a lifetime to learn, as for a trip that's for a lifetime to share. And with this knowledge, I believe that I continue to do my part as an educator and medical and influence to the millions of Jews in Cambodia. And I believe they are watching right now. And thanks to Father Will again. And thanks to Dekun that he's been helping millions and millions of people share true knowledge about Buddhism. And only through him and many other influencers do people understand that this is a real religion. It's not about superstition. It's not about holding grudge or being mean to each other, but to show compassion and to show real teaching and real practice and real understanding what religion play a role in the world, regardless of Christianity, Buddhism, or other religion. But we all play our part to help influence positively in our own people. And that's what I'm hoping to do today. And I hope that on his side, he will continue to preach love and teaching to Cambodian people.
Thank you, Mr. Abhibal, and also Father Will for being invited me for this trip. This is my first time to Rome, and Rome is one of the city that I really want to visit the most, because what you call the big bastard that Bruce Lee used to produce film? Colosseum. Yes, Bruce Lee is also one of my idol, and I walk the way I am today because of him as well. And he is the first Chinese film star that recognized by the Hollywood. Yeah. And the word that I always can convince me, he say, express yourself and be yourself. It is a thought that caused me to start my teaching. Because when I start my teaching, it is a little bit different from others, because I start to teach only the real teaching of the Buddha. It's not related to what people have done for a long time, but I straight to the real teaching, as you said, about the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. To me, Buddha is like a doctor, and Dharma is like a medicine. So, doctor always take care of all patients, no matter what they are, who they are, or what religion they believe. When we go to the doctor only asks about our health or health condition, not asking about religion. Like when the Buddha got enlightenment, there were no any people who claimed themselves to be Buddhist. But Buddha taught only those who could adapt or listen to him. Because in the Buddha view, all beings in this world are wounded, suffering. We all from different family, different from castes, especially in India. There are different kinds of castes. But the teaching of Buddha is like a medicine that cures all people. So when I started to teach the real teaching, my audience is not just a Buddhist. Some of them from Muslim and some of them from Christian. Because we all have suffering and we need the medicine. So almost every day that I got the message from people that they say to me they get better from their problem, their anxiety or depression. And some of them say they used to commit suicide or attempt suicide, but they found the better way to live again because of the teaching. So to me, being Buddhist or Christian is nothing different. The thing is they can find the truth way to live a better life. That is why this trip is very important for me that I joined today, and I also would like to share this message to all people in Cambodia, not just in Cambodia but also people in the world, that we have the right to respect the different religion, but we can work together with love and harmony. Yeah, thank you.
I think it's a joy not to be here and listening to this exchange that is going on. And I know that in this trip you wanted also to talk about this ecological conversion, which is another theme that is very dear to the Pope. But not only to the Pope, I think that's part of the different suffering that we are talking about, which needs to be addressed in the sense that with climate change, we are compelled not to look at the way we've been living in this world and to propose solutions that can only come from, maybe only religious sector can only give this kind of solutions, in the sense that business people, they might say, they might propose alternative ways of making money. But there is no way it can change that alternative way of making money if we remain in what we could say victims or kind of consumeristic mentality. If we don't learn those values that religions are teaching us, or frugality, a simple lifestyle, a life that if we cannot develop a different kind of hunger not only for things that are of the world, but also for things that are spiritual. And it's only religion that can help us now discover those kind of those needs. And spiritual needs, when they are being taken care of, they can help us change our way of relating to nature, or relating to the material world. And so in 2015, Pope Francis wrote an encyclical that is addressed to everybody. It's called Laudato Si, and basically in this encyclical is calling us not to review the way that we deal with nature. And a part of it is directly addressing this need of ecological conversion. As I try not to think about this ecological conversion, when does it happen? It happens when we start looking, I think for us as Christians, if we start taking care of the earth the way that God wanted us, because He created, He gave us all this, not to be good stewards, not to take care of it, not to exploit it. And that will mean not only looking at things that we can take from the earth, but how we can also show our love, our concern for the earth. And it's also not to, that ecological conversion will also be happening when we are able not to address ways of thinking. If, for instance, we can influence people around us who, because they want to make money, they are tempted not to provide models of development that are not concerned about the future of the earth. And for me, I've been thinking about all the dangers that are incorporated and coming from Congo, when you might find a situation where you want to look for, when you want to fight against poverty, the temptation of doing it at the price of non-ecological investment. I might be thinking, for instance, perhaps this could also be the situation in Cambodia, that there are plenty of resources, natural resources, but that to be exploited, there should also be kind of norms, so that we don't simply cut all the trees in a non-deliberate way. I used to joke when I was in Taiwan. In Taiwan, we have trees that have more than 300 or 500 years. They are considered as beings, that you cannot touch them because they are somehow divine. And I was joking also with my Buddhist monks or friends, telling them that when I arrive in a monastery and I see that the wood that they used, very good, is coming from maybe from Indonesia, from Vietnam, and you could really see that these were trees that maybe have 500 or 800 years old, that they've been cut not to serve furniture. So I was saying, here in Taiwan, because we have money, we cannot touch a tree that is 300 years. But we know that in those other countries, because they need money, we don't play with the same principle. So we use that money not to destroy forests in other places for our good. And I think this Laudato Si, this encyclical, is helping us not to make these kind of reflections. When we talk about a well-being, it's not a well-being that is only for us humans. It has to be to include nature. It has to be responsible. And if we are able of, in our reflection, of sharing this kind of, giving this kind of reflections, it could also be that we'll be helping in creating a society that is ecological, that is also responding more to this conversion that is needed. So people will be awakened to spiritual needs, and those spiritual needs will help them to live in harmony not only with humans, but also with the nature where we are living in. That's one of the things that I want now to add to this.
It is the central argument of our trip. That's also why in our delegation there's not only religious leaders or people like Venerable Santachi or myself who are concerned with those issues and who've been working on those issues in Cambodia in partnership with other monks like the Venerable Kusapip, which we went to the primary forest, or even Bishop Enrique Kiki has been so proactive for many years with other Jesuits, also Father Gabi in Prailong Forest. We've been very concerned for that. But for us, it was also important to have business leaders in our community. So we have both academics or students, teachers, and we have business leaders. We have two, of course. We have Mengly, who's a major influencer and leader in that field, and he can really help promote and share a message of ecological conversion. And there's also Baptiste Soresme, who's with us, and he's a leader of the French-Cambodian Chamber of Commerce, and he's a business leader also. So my question was for us as religious leaders, how do we work with the business community to get this message out? It's not just about preaching on Sunday or on Facebook, but how do we get it out to the business community? And how does this message that we preach of a certain, as you said, sober life, simple life, how, because it's our life, we've decided to live it. Venerable Santachi lives a very simple life, wears the same clothes every day, and has a simple life. But then when you're a business leader, how do you apply that message? For us, a simple life is easy. We live a celibate life. We are not looking to become rich. But when you're a rich man, when you're an influential man, how do you apply that to your life? So that's kind of the question we're trying to deal with here. And how do we go from the religious message to the practical message for the business community?
Perhaps we could also listen to it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You want to say something, Baptiste?
Businessman, so I'm not very tempted. But I think the most important, if you are in business or if you are active in what I would call social activities, is always to look for the greater good, the greater good for your community, and because you're working for your communities, and if everyone is working for your communities, then at the end we are working for the mankind, let's say. So for me, the most important is always when you do business, you have, I would say, two things to care of. You have to take care of your people, so your employees, your partners. So that's also a way of being, I would say, a good businessman, a good business leader. You have to know how to take care of your people, and it's also to try to have a positive impact into the society and the community. So I think it's also a matter on how you choose your project, or you choose your partners, or you try to be responsible in. Of course, we are not. I'm not a man of God, I'm not a saint, but it's always try to make the best choice for not only for yourself and for your family, but also for the community. And I believe doing business in a sustainable way, I believe it's possible, and I believe in the long term it will be the most successful people in business or in whatever they do is people who get the support of the others. And you can only get the support of the others if you're working for the others. Thank you.
What comes to my mind is that Max Weber's book on Protestant ethics and the spirit of capitalism. Now, I think that book, and also I was thinking about historical Jesus and historical Buddha, because they were helped by rich people, and Buddha or Jesus Christ for their mission. They were followers. So they were influenced by their message. Message has transformed them. And then it doesn't mean that you completely renounce your richness or your wealth, but you use it in a different way, not selfishly, but for the good of others. And I'm also because we need to have business money. We need profits in a just way. So the spirit of capitalism that says not Catholic, there is a debate. Max Weber's. Now he says capitalism didn't emerge in Asia because no ethics, but they have been contested. But this teaching of accumulating wealth in a positive way and then sharing it in different ways for the welfare of humanity is, I think, important. That's I think. Because sometimes we religious leaders say wealth is, we demonize that. No. Accumulation, no. But it is important because it also has a purpose. That's my thinking.
In Cambodia, the country mostly are nature, still natural, beautiful, and almost 70% of the population still live with nature, regardless of how much it developed during this past 30, 40 years. But the people are part of the nature. They live with the nature. They rely on the nature. But before, right after the war, during the war, it wasn't respect. It wasn't that way. We were collective and forced to live collectively and work as a hard labor. And after the war, we start to build common ground. Educational system, religious system, cultural system, it was wiped out. So for the past 30, 40 years, we see that people are getting more educated, more knowledgeable, intelligent, and they start to understand the importance of nature. And recently, for the past decade, you see that students now understand about how to take care of nature, how to clean, and how to be healthy with the nature. That only could be possible through education. So you see that a lot of students right now are being trained to understand how to preserve nature. And usually this kind of thing in history, you see that it could only make possible with some of the activists, but usually not much effective. Only if in every generation, if some influencer, powerful or rich people play a role, dedicate themselves to it. So I believe that in my generation, there will be more educated people, rich and entrepreneurial people that will dedicate themselves to educating the young youth about how to live with nature and how to live peacefully. In order to live peacefully, you have to be able to save the nature by cut down on cutting tree, and if possible, reserve it 100%. But that is not possible. But we're doing that. During the war, there's no rule, regulation, there's no policy, there's no law. So it's like everyone killing everyone, not just cut down the tree and animal, but killing people. But now we have we have been stable past 30 years. There's less animal killed, more animal are preserved, less trees are cut down, more trees are planted. So every year we see improvement, and I hope that when people are more and more educated and we share all this knowledge about nature, I believe that Cambodia will go back to the Asia's paradise that we once used to be called, and that's so beautiful and peaceful. And it takes time. And I dedicate myself as an influencer and educator to share positive knowledge. And I think only education can heal this evil spirit and negative thinking that is happening through most countries that gone through the war. And by teaching positive thing, by showing positive thing, and by live a positive life, especially when you are an influencer, you can make a lot of difference. And I see that education is very vital to help people understand the fundamental part of living peacefully. And that only if you teach them and enrich them with the proper education. We never have proper education before, and now we have education from all levels to university to higher education. And you see that people are now moving out, getting scholarship and different grants to study overseas, like the two gentlemen here in Rome. So they feel exposed, we understand. And I go to many countries, especially in Europe. They're beautiful, modern, a lot of nice building, antiquity and so on, but if you go to Cambodia, you see green, you see beautiful tree, and so many things that are preserved. And hopefully that through teaching, regardless of religion, we learn how to love each other, and love the nature, love the animal. And that's what is happening right now. And I hope that the next decade, there will be more positive change for the better. And for that, I hope that the Gon will preach on that, and Father will also help enrich that knowledge, because youth now, they look for influencer, someone who could make a difference in their life. They look for role models. So I think that if we play a positive role, we can make changes, and I'm hoping to do that. And as Father said, rich people, sometimes Cambodia, are the ones who spoil it, but they're only about 5-10%. But the rest of the population are in lay people general, and they want to live in harmony with each other and also with nature. And they are part of the nature these days, more than 70% of them. You go to Cambodia, they live on the long side of the mountain, alongside the river. And somehow that's how we have been living for the past hundreds of years. So I hope that they will retain the beauty of its nature that had made Cambodia so beautiful before.
Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? Floor is open.
Good morning, Father. Good morning, Father, and venerable and gentlemen here. Okay, the famous speaker from Cambodia already speak already. He described what happened in Cambodia to the Monsignor. That he compare what is Cambodia, what is European people and the environment. I think Cambodia is still has green environment that people can survive themselves with the natural resources, but somehow their tree was cut down. But we try to protect the tree. That most people want to protect the tree, but some of them were abused by the authority. This is not for our purpose, but we try to protect our tree to make our country very green more and more. And this is one purpose of mine. In here, I want to share something that I can talk to the world as well as Father, to be good friend with the Christian and Buddhists in Cambodia. As Venerable said, we are a Buddhist, we cannot say something bad to another. Like we try to make friends, like Father say, agape, and we can say in Buddhism is Kalyanamitta, loving and compassion. I came here to share joy with the other Christian people here, especially Father Marcus Solo. He went to anywhere with her, to Assisi, to Pupu Lare moment. We share something together about what happened in the world that people try to separate. But yesterday I seen the video. When we start keep in touch together, sooner we will love each other. So this is the way that I can talk to you. I think it's not too much for me. I respect the most Oknha Mengly and Venerable. He's a very famous speaker in the YouTube channel. he teach not only Buddhists but all people in Cambodia. We have Muslim, Buddhist, Christian. So the young people like his speak and his Dharma talk. So be peace in among us and peace in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
For your information, Cambodia is one of the very few countries that are very open to all religion, and our Prime Minister encourage people to practice their religions openly. And we have Muslims, we have Christianity, we have Buddhism, we have Hindu. I think it's a mixture of all religion, but they are living peacefully in harmony with the whole population. And we encourage them to practice, to build their own mosque, their own temple, and so on. So I think people living in Cambodia are very fortunate if they are religious people to be able to express their feeling and share their religion to other people, and there's no discrimination at all. I think this is one good part about Cambodia that I want to share to Father, that it's hardly found in anywhere, but in Cambodia, when I went back to Cambodia in 2002, I found it so hard to believe. A country that right after war and were killed, was destroyed, and all temples are demolished, and educators are killed, monks are defrauded, and so on. But at the end, we come to live in harmony with different races, and hardly any pure Cambodian in Cambodia. We have a mixture of Chinese Cambodian, Cham Cambodian, Vietnamese Cambodian, Muslim Cambodian, all kinds. And I think that's the only country that live peacefully in harmony with each other without any discrimination on religion, belief, and practice. And to me, that is very important.
I want to say thank you for that too, because it's true. I'm the only foreigner living in Cambodia in our small delegation, and I've been so well welcomed. And even in the time of COVID, when it was quite difficult to welcome foreigners in Cambodia, we were still very well welcomed. And from the point of view of ecology for our trip, the one thing that I've learned in Cambodia is that Cambodia is a country that has hope, you know. And sometimes ecology, if you look at Greta Thunberg and all those, is kind of worrying. And there's like a fear and a bad news. Whereas in Cambodia, there's a lot of hope. And for me as a missionary, I'm the witness to the good news. So what I want to do, and what I try to do, is try to keep this hope that Cambodian people have for the future, and tell them that it's possible to have a possible green future, and that we're not all gonna die. We in the end, yes, one day, hopefully, and go to heaven. But there's a possible, you know, future and an ecology full of hope that you can provide. If we provide an ecology which is only with sacrifice and with bad news and with global warming and with no more trees, well, no, the trees are growing, the forest is growing, and through peace and harmony, I think there's a hopeful ecology that Cambodia can talk about. It's not easy. Even in Cambodia, it's not easy, and there's reason to be concerned. But I think it's really important to have a hopeful message, even in the field of ecology, as we try to change our ways of living, keeping hope. And that's really important. I find that very beautiful in Cambodia. It's a country, the past has been so bad that we can only be hopeful for the future now.
Besides, we only not working on the forest and preservation of the nature. We have so many of historical sites that were built. We have the largest Hindu temple in Cambodia, built for thousands of years, and we are working on preserving all that too. So before it was destroyed, and no one even know about the temple, but now we clear the mines, and we clean the road, and we build a tree, and we make it welcoming to all tourism. And there's more than thousands of temple that from old time that right now it's become a tourist destination. And I pray to Lord Buddha and to Jesus Christ that make Cambodia be peaceful again, as it used to be for the past 30 years, but more peaceful in the next future, so that the youth will have this hope, because there's some sentiment of instability in the mind when there's election. But I believe that for the past 5 elections, it's been very stable. So I know that this July election will be even more stable. And with this thing in mind, we just need to assure the people that regardless of what happened, peace will be there. And people will come to Cambodia. And Cambodia is the first few countries to open up to visitors because we have almost 100% vaccination from coronavirus. And we have a government that put a lot of focus on hygiene and what to do, what not to do, and encourage people for free vaccination. It's almost like 100%. So very small number of people killed, and the infection rate was so low that we are one of the first countries to open up. And that I welcome everyone all over the world to visit Cambodia. It's beautiful. Have so many temples from thousands of years that you rare to find it anywhere on earth. It's so beautiful, made of stone, just like we see in Rome today. Unbelievable. So many beautiful things that's high under the ground, and also still right now stand out and livable. And that's what we want. The same thing happen in Cambodia. Yes. Father have been showing a lot about temple.
So we have come to the end of this enriching, beautiful exchange. We thank you once again for your visit. Thank you also for Father William for coordinating with this office for this visit. Let me summarize what we have discussed here. The first is Jesus Christ and Lord Buddha had been healers, doctors, and then their medicine is Dharma and also the teaching of Buddha. So over 2000 years, 2500 years, this medicine has helped people to find healing, peace, and live in harmony with one another. We need to continue presenting our way of living, our teachings, because the world is wounded and also the environment is wounded. And there is hope of peace. We need to have hope because it is a positive thinking. Power of positive thinking is important, and then this hope is enriched by the openness of the government and welcoming all, respecting all. So these are also directly related to our teachings, because if you preach healing, if you preach love, then one aspect of that love is welcoming the other. And also we speak of religious liberty, religious freedom. And then also the other fact is education, as you mentioned rightly. Pope also, Francis, underlines the importance of education. He identified 4 types of education. Education first is to know yourself, it's knowledge. Know yourself and know the other. Also know the other, and also know your environment, and also know the mystery of Jesus Christ or the Buddha in our. So these 4 types of knowledge are important for us to live in harmony and peace. So at the end, with your presentation and all, I got the desire that I should visit Cambodia.
Welcome, Mother. We're waiting for you.
I already discussed about this. I already discussed about this with Bishop Henrik last year, and then he asked me to contact Bishop
Olivier.
Olivier.
He's waiting for you too.
Yeah, I thought he would come here. I wanted to discuss. We can discuss it. So, because part of our mission is also visiting countries, and you visited here. Now we have some sort of a friendship, and then friendship needs frequency of contact, visits, mutual exchange. When you organize something, we would then invite you for a conference, and these things grow. Last year we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the visit to Abbot of Wat Po. If you go to Wat Po, you can see the pictures of Pope, our pictures. That's friendship. You see that also gives a very powerful message. It's a tourist site. A lot of people visit and they see the pictures of the Pope there and some priests there, and that is dialogue is already there. And then we can discuss how to organize it with you, and this office will visit. So we have started. Your trip is a trip of friendship, and friendship had been there. Friendships need to be renewed, and this visit is renewed our friendship with Cambodia, and let us try to grow in this friendship, helping one another and also helping the humanity. Thank you once again for your visit, and we wish you all have a pleasant stay in Rome, and also tomorrow we have an important event, the audience with the Holy Father. We look forward to it. Thank you.
So there's a small gift for you. What I'm saying is that this Christian who made this for me for Christmas told me angels don't have a face. They don't have a religion. St. Aquinas says all this, but we can give a face to angels. So it's an invitation for you to come back. Thank you very much.